Watch passengers flee after a man set fire to a check-in desk at an airport. The man, thought to be a Malian migrant, smashed check-in monitors and set fire to the bins in Terminal 1 at Malpensa Airport in Milan. Security staff finally intervened and tackled the man to the ground. According to reports, the Malian migrant was unknown to police, with no prior criminal record. The airport said the situation was quickly brought under control after the arrest of the madman who set fire and destroyed some check-in counters. Due to the closure and evacuation of premises, there are possible delays and cancellations for departures. Panicked travellers waited outside the airport as the fire service fought the flames. Smoke could be seen lingering over the concourse after the fire had been extinguished. Italy has seen a sharp drop in illegal migration since Giorgia Meloni took power, intent on clamping down. Yet the flow has not completely stopped. 240,000 illegal migrants arrived in the EU last year, which is in fact a third lower than the year before. A quarter of these asylum seekers come via Italy. Meloni secured a deal with Albania to process arrivals there, a bit like the plan the Tories had to send migrants to Rwanda. But the European Court of Justice ruled it unlawful. An activist in response said it meant the state-of-the-art facilities couldn't be used.
Protokolli Itali-Shqipëri tashmë nuk ka si bazë ligjore ku mund të mbështetet. Këtë e kanë thënë dhe gjykatat më përpara, por tashmë është diçka në nivel evropian dhe duhet të anullohet përfundimisht.
GB News reported at the time countries around Europe are finding their ability to confront the migrant crisis hindered by the court.
Keir Starmer is expected now to hold talks with Bosnia, Serbia and North Macedonia to set up potential return hubs there. But will it be yet more embarrassment for the Prime Minister? Well, joining us to discuss this in the studio is our political correspondent, Catherine Forster. Catherine, welcome to the studio. Has to be said, yesterday was an incredibly embarrassing moment. The former basketball pro, all 6'7" of him, made Sir Keir Starmer in every sense look like a political pygmy. This was his moment to be on the stage to a big drum roll. We've got return hubs, tough Italian style, nothing of the kind. A total and utter slap in the face during the big moment. They're still there today. They're now moving on to these other countries. Can anything be salvaged from the situation for Sir Keir Starmer?
Well, I agree. The optics were terrible. Awful front pages this morning, but number 10's line is, look, we're never going to be nailing down return hubs on this trip. This is about a broader picture, all the other levers that we can pull, and so on and so forth. Now, I was in the lobby. Yeah, little and large. He is, Edi Rama, I think is about 6'5", and Keir Starmer
6'7".
is actually not tall. Not at all.
That might explain why he likes hanging around with Emmanuel Macron Zelensky. Because, anyway, I digress. Back to the point.
So, oh my goodness, that's totally distracted me. Yes, so anyway, I remember going to Rome with the Prime Minister back in September. He was very interested in what Giorgia Meloni was doing.
Yes.
Of course, Italy has got this agreement for processing centres with Albania. It's worth saying that even there, Italy has come unstuck too.
That's right.
Because of challenges in the courts. But certainly, we were asking at the lobby briefing at lunchtime, could you tell us some of the countries that you're talking to? They won't go there. They're talking to several. We gather in Eastern Europe and elsewhere. I think in fairness to the government, of course, like the previous government, you talk to lots of countries. It's only really when you've made significant progress that you're going to start.
But Rwanda was ready to go and they scrapped it on day one, and now they're looking around for what looks like a watered-down Rwanda, and they can't even get one.
Well, it was, and I was interviewing yesterday, oh my goodness, my brain has gone. I've come out of the assisted dying today. Lord Harper,
yes,
who was previously immigration minister, and I was asking him about Rwanda. And he was saying, look, he thinks that the government realised they'd made a terrible mistake. They spent £700 million. They spent 4 volunteers went. The PM, they immediately scrapped it, labelling it a gimmick. But the point was, the Tories had so many legal challenges.
Yeah.
They thought, Rishi Sunak told me, the flights would have been going. We will never know. But if those flights had gone, it was a one-way ticket to Rwanda. You would not have been coming back. That obviously would have been a massive, massive deterrent. This return hubs plan, well, to what extent will that be a deterrent? Because you will only go there if you have come, you've applied for asylum, and it has been turned down and you've exhausted all the avenues. So I feel they are still lacking a deterrent, even if they get the return hubs.
As crazy as things can be here, and you want to get away from what's happening in Dover or the migrant hotels near you, you go off on a lovely holiday, in this case to Grenada and the Mediterranean coast. And what happens? But a migrant boat pulls up and 13 young men swim to the shore. In this particular case, holiday makers actually started chasing after them and wrestling a few of them to the ground. Yeah. And then very quickly, actually, the Spanish police were on scene and arresting those migrants who just come across on the shore.
So they arrest them in Spain?
Yeah. And
they don't arrest them here?
They do arrest them here. That's the thing. You get arrested on immigration offences, but then, of course, you're quickly released after you claim asylum. But no, they get arrested there, and that was quite a fast boat that came in. The people smugglers will often shoot them across from countries in North Africa right across to the Mediterranean, to the nearest landmass or island, and drop them, then go back offshore, go and pick up their next load. So this is what we were seeing. It's not just this beach, it's lots of beaches in Spain, in Italy, in Greece, to the point where the Greeks have had enough of it. So many migrants came ashore in Crete, thousands, that the island was being overrun, that they've decided that, they will accept no asylum seekers for the foreseeable while they deal with all those who have come across. They're all being put in detention with a view to getting them removed.
Well, Mark, thanks so much for bringing us this extraordinary footage there. I'm just imagining being on a beach in a few weeks' time and thinking, gosh, what's going to happen? What could happen?
Arrivals in Italy continue, and in a reminder of just how dangerous this crossing is, 26 migrants died last week, 14 miles off the island of Lampedusa, their intended destination. 675 people have died in the central Mediterranean this year while trying to reach Italy. Nicholas Dunning, GB News.